everybody. Today we're going to be using the midpoint rule with the given value of n to approximate the integral. So we have the integral going from 0 to 8 of x squared dx with n is equal to 4. So this is approximately equal to the sum of I going from 1 to 4, because n is 4, f of xi bar delta x. So we're going to have 4 rectangles with the width of delta x and with the height of xi bar. Xi bar is the midpoint of each rectangle. So let's see. This is your A and this is your B. Now to find delta x is b minus a over n. So in this case, b is 8, so 8 minus a, which is 0, over n, which is 4. So delta x is equal to a divided by 4, which is 2. So the width of each rectangle is 2, okay? So we are going to have 4 rectangles. So this is the first one. So we're going to the width of each rectangle is 2. So here we have 2 here, 4, 6, and 8. And f of x, this is f of x. The function is x squared. Okay? So you know how it's going to look like. It's a parabola that opens upward. But we care about the parabola from 0 to 8. When x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 8. Okay? So let's see. We're going to go ahead and find the values of the function of the height of each rectangle. So we need to know f2, f4, f6, and f8. So as you can see, f2 is 2 squared, which is 4. So 2, here we have. Oh, by the way, we need to know what are these values. As you can see, x is equal to 8. So f of 8 is going to be 8 squared, which is 64. So we need to know what to put in here. We cannot start with 1, 2. Since we're going to have very large number when x is equal to 8, so let's go ahead and start with, so this is 5, this is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So this is 40, 50, and 60. We're going to need a little bit more because 8 squared is 64. So we can go a little bit. So this is your 65 right there. Okay? And so when x is equal to 2, f2 is 4. So this is 5. So 4 would be slightly less than that. And f4 would be 4 squared, which is 16. So here's 10, here's 15, slightly more. And when x is 6, f of 6 is 6 squared, which is 36. So we have to go, this is 35, so this is 36. And when x is 8, f of 8, 8 squared is 64. So here's 65. So here it is. So the way the graph of the function from 0 to 8 is this. I didn't include 0 because f of 0 is simply 0. So this is the graph of the function when x between x equals 0, x equals 8. Now let's go ahead and graph the rectangles. Remember the width is 2, so we're looking at a graph. This is 2, but we're using, keep in mind that we're using the midpoint. The midpoint of a rectangle with a width of 2 must be 1. So here you have, this is 1. So I'm going to put the midpoint in red here. So the first rectangle would be this. Because it's a midpoint rule, it's the height of the midpoint right there. So this is the first rectangle. In the next one here, the midpoint is 3, halfway between 2 and 4. Okay, and this is hitting the graph at this point, right? So the graph is going to look like this. Okay, and the midpoint in the next rectangle would be between 4 and 6, it's 5. And if you have to, you can also bring a ruler just to make it hit the right point. It's up to you. So this is where it hits the graph for the midpoint of that rectangle. So the graph is going to look like okay, and the last one here, the last rectangle, the midpoint is 7, between 6 and 8. And again, we need to know where the function is when x is 7. It's right there. Okay, so we're gonna have to graph so there you have it. So here we have our 4 rectangles, this one, 2, 3, 4. So how do we approximate the integral using 4 rectangles? Then it's going to be, this is going to be equal to, the width is 2, so we know that the width is fixed. So since it's fixed, you can take it out. So this is the same as 2, sum of I equal 1 to 4, and f of xi, the midpoint right there. So let's see, 2 times. Okay, so the function, the midpoint when I is equal to 1. So for the first rectangle, the midpoint is at 1. So it would be f1 plus. For the next time you have I equal 2, so the second rectangle, the midpoint is 3, so it's f3 plus. For the third rectangle, the midpoint is 5, so it's going to be f5 plus. The last rectangle for it's going to be the midpoint is 7, so f of 7. And since you already have the function f, what you can do is you plug it in. f1 is 1 squared, right? So 1 squared plus f3, that's 3 squared. f5, that's 5 squared. f7, that's 7 squared. Remember, f of x is equal to x squared right here. And that's equal to 2 times 1 plus 9 plus 25 plus 49. So you can add what's in here. So this is 10 plus 25, that's 35. It's going to amount to 84 here. 2 times 84, that is 168. So this is I'm use the midpoint rule to approximate this integral, and the approximation is 168. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.